Welcome back, viewers. It is I, James Kalm, coming back from my little summer respite. Took some time off, but we are back, and we're going to audition the 2022 art season here. We're in Tribeca. We're gonna run in to at least one gallery, see what's going on. Our special shout out to our viewers in Glasgow and the entire subcontinent of India, and our many, many thousands of viewers there. Stay tuned. Okay, well, they're having a real festival here tonight. They've got the taco truck serving free tacos. And they've got a new ancillary space across the street that they're debuting tonight as well. Well, we'll run in and start our little tour in the main gallery. This is an exhibition by Luke Murphy titled Industrial Incandescent. Most of these are LED matrix panels. I think we've seen some of Luke's earlier pieces here at the gallery. Okay, I like what he's doing. He's getting a little more funky, eclectic. Gosh, look who's here. It's Walter Robinson, the famous, yes, and Brett De Palma. Titled Open Circuit. Steel armature, LED matrix panels, video-driven hardware, software, power supplies. Okay, so a lot of these pieces have got these Don Judd-like boxes with all their hardware and software. I just like this piece from a kind of a painter's aspect. It's titled Homesick. Let's see if we can get it all in the frame. 4P LED matrix panels, metal armature, video-driven hardware, blah, 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 software. And I like the step design, the zigzags, and these color things. Of course, this is going to always read as a cityscape. I was just talking to some people that were also commenting on some of the more brutal, funky, rustic materials and things that he's using, that Luke is using for his bases. Okay, this is the title piece of the show. This is titled Industrial Incandescent 2022. And this is 92 by 57 by 20.
2022. Steel studs, LED matrix panels, video-driven hardware, software, power source. Well, Luke is using raw lumber, old beams and things, and in this case he's using metal sheetrock studs. Okay, and I kind of like the way there's the illusion of the light's kind of a fluid flowing down through some kind of cubistic channel here. This is another one that's got a kind of a pain relief quality. It's titled, I See You've Been Lonesome Too. P4mm LED matrix panels, metal armature, metal enclosure. Okay, and again, this one gives you the impression that this is kind of like a draped piece of fabric, although each one of these panels are probably something like 4 by 10 inches, 5 by 10 inches, something like that. So it's more like a mosaic. And the way the image kind of bleeds over from one to the other is nice. Also, there's an almost a narrative quality about the way that these images change over time. I guess it kind of relates to some of these animated neon signs that you see downtown. Things lighting up, changing. Tower pattern 2022 LED metal studs, armature, blah 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 blah. Okay, so this box is connected to a couple of these. Okay, let's see how the color changes. I was going to say this kind of makes me think of another artist that they show down here, Sailor Jane, who does a lot of paintings that are dealing with patterns, geometric patterns, number systems, things like that. Small composition 2021. Actually, I kind of like the idea of this. You've got your little geometric painting, minimalist. Get tired of it in one composition or color scheme, you change it up a little bit. This is one of the more fun pieces in the show. Line climb through ladder. Fire exchange. Standing on that ladder, it looks like it'd be a little flimsy, but I like the kind of the contrast between this old slotted beam here, the funky ladder, and then your high-tech LED panels. Makes me think of Rauschenberg a little bit. This is titled Corner Beams. LED matrix panels, metal stud, armature, video drive, hardware, software, power supplies. Again, I like the kind of the color layouts on this and the patterning. I was listening to the news today and they were talking about California and Los Angeles and how they're having rolling brownouts, and that would be one of the drawbacks about having your work based on electricity. It's like you would have to shut down your show if the power grid gets overwhelmed. Let's go look at the Belott show. Oh geez, Brian is in here performing. Okay, we got Brian doing a performance.
I would like everybody to be quiet for 1 second. I'd like to introduce Teddy Lopez. Hey, everybody, Teddy Lopez.
Teddy Lopez.
I love Terry Lewis, regardless of whatever they want to say about him. He had a big ego and all that. They all have big egos, like Don Hunter. Terry!
You know, Daddy.
Everybody loves somebody.
Brian is a serious guy.
Wow.
This is titled Reassembler. It's the artist right here. Gonna take a run around the walls there. This is titled Reassembler 2 Subway Groves. 21 1/4 by 16 1/4. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to come in and see this is that Brian was one of the first artists that I documented here in the Kalm Report. This is titled Reassembler number 8, Cavet. And, well, I've known Brian for, gosh, at this point, I guess it's like 15 years. This is number 15 some street play. We followed him from some of his early shows at Canada, then he had a show at Zurcher. Had a show, maybe two, at Gavin Brown's Enterprise. Okay. This is Reassembler number 9. Question, I can't read the title because it's upside down. Brian is a very talented collage artist. I'm actually surprised because a lot of his work that he does, he uses a technique where he sort of glues it on the back side of a piece of plexiglass, or maybe he's using resin, and sort of proceeds in a negative way, in that if you're a painter, you sort of start out, paint the background, and then build in the foreground, whereas if you're laying your work onto glass and then looking at it from the front side, you lay the things that are on the front down first and then slowly build up towards the background. This is Reassembler number 12, What Happened to the Colonel? I think Brian is a pretty good colorist too. I'm noticing that a lot of these have got some nice kind of color-keyed harmonies here. This is number 17. Also, Brian was an associate with one of the people that I've known longest in the New York art scene, which is Don Betchler. I know that he is doing some studio managing things with Don, and well, unfortunately, Don passed away about 5 or 6 months ago. Snagged the artist Brian Belott doing his Elvis impressions. Tell us a little bit about the collage show.
All right, what you see here is Reassembler 3.
Okay.
That's because there's been 3 of them. These are my pandemic collages.
That's what I was thinking. And I understand this was the first piece that you did for the show? Or?
This is the earliest work that's in the show. Yeah, it's from 2020. When the plague hit the town, I bolted to Vermont. I ran there with very little material, and while I was shivering indoors, watching birds go by and deer ticks, I started to consider what the hell was going on here, and I seized upon an idea of my father's. It's a joke invention, and he came up with this invention called the Reassembler.
Now, wasn't your father also involved in like the record business or promoting records?
He was a commercial photographer.
Oh, he was a commercial photographer.
He would take photographs for the record art. You know, so he's a commercial photographer in Manhattan and did different things for, like...
Can we go over and look at one of these things? I wanted to talk about something. One of the things I noticed, you have kind of some conventional compositional things. Like I was noticing a lot of them have these kind of squares on the edges, which I think is interesting the way you've kind of activated that, but you kind of stuck with that particular motif in a lot of these. Is there something that kind of intrigued you with that?
Yeah, so the idea is that the Reassembler is a machine, right?
Okay.
So these things are mechanized. These collages are kind of similar to what I've done in the past in the sense that they're bright colors and they're fantastic. I rip up children's books. I tend to really like children's books from the 60s and 70s because of printmaking methods. But the difference here is that we have these flanks of these squares. Right, and so to me, it kind of looks like a film strip, or like a lower blind, like you're looking out the window to see what's going on in the world. And the idea was at first that they were strips, so I ripped them as I was nervously in my studio, just kind of ripping apart page by page and then gluing them back together. and this kind of like physical activity was calming.
But it also kind of gives you a way to key the color compositions as well in a certain way. Is that also part of it?
Sure. The thing is that when I went to SVA, I loved Agnes Martin. I loved Robert Ryman.
Sure.
Remember Robert Ryman used a device where he has these things like taped off, take
Right.
the pipe and then rip them off. So that always affected me, and so the mechanical aspect is something that was kind of keyed into this kind of story of it referring to my father's invention, which was taking shredded documents, feeding them into the reassembler, which would re-stitch them, and then you would place these things on eBay to sell back to the person who destroyed them. So
That's good. The other thing I wanted to say is you were one of the early people that I actually documented on my YouTube channel, and that's got to be about 15 or 16 years ago at this point.
yeah, back Canada,
That's right.
swirly music.
Yeah, and I've watched you go through all these various different and I wanted to say I was very proud of you. You were in the Whitney Biennial, not this one, but the one before.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
And all this great stuff. So it's been great to sort of watch your career arc so far. And here we are back in Canada.
Yeah, I'm back again.
All right.
Home again, jiggity jig.
All right. Thanks, Brian Belott.
Thank you so much.
So now we're running across the street. We're going to check out the new Canada ancillary space and check out a show called Notions featuring Michelle Sagre, Akiwi's Mohammed, and Maya Yin at 61 Lispenard Street. And this is the debut of the new space over here. We'll come in and sweep over this. Okay, so this is a oil on canvas by Mi Yim. It's titled Alchemist 2022. 66 by 42. Well, as I said, I've been taking some time off. I've been on a hiatus, and I've been working in my own studio. I've got a lot of things cooking, but it's always enjoyable to come in and see some painting. I don't know what the backstory is on Mi Yim, but I like the paint handling. A chromogenic print by Aziwiki Mohammed. Terrace House number 3. And, oh gosh, there's Kathy Bradford. So this is the big Michel Serge, or
My son's still taking student
Segre piece. It's titled Membrane.
Oh my
And seems like I see a lot of work these days. It's kind of a mixture between weaving, macrame, various other kinds of fabric constructions. This is metal, cotton, acrylic, polymer, and inks, yarn, wire, concrete, charcoal, chimney starter, and a paper wasp nest. Okay, we gotta give the wasps credit. This is another piece by May Yim. Titled Prey, 2022. Okay, so I kind of like this, but I'm getting a little of a Julie Curtis vibe. This is like bundles of hair kind of tied up and variously spliced together, maybe. But I like the paint handling. It's oil on canvas, 34 by 30. Let's see if we can slip in and see these photos. More photos by Aziwiki, Tara's Kitchen, chromogenic print. I kind of like the oversaturated color. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, there's Kathy and the artist, Mia. All right. This is Chickadee by Mia Yim. Oil on canvas, 52 by 38. So we've got a little, it's like an eyeball and then kind of carnations or something floating around. Oh gosh, here's the front of the space. This leads out onto Canal Street. Wow. This is James Kalm reporting on Luke Murphy, Industrial Incandescent, Brian Belott, the Reassembler, and the debut of the new space with a show called Notations with Michelle Segre, Ezekiel Mohammed, and me, him, here at Canada. You can like this, share, subscribe, link it up to all your social media sites, and you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And as always, and in this, I believe it's the 18th season of the Kalm Report, we just ask you to say, thank you, Kate. Thank you.